Hi, welcome to part 3B of Classroom Procedures. This is for someone who's working for the business development team, the BDT. Your process for Classroom Procedures also has a PowerPoint presentation that you need to watch, but also I'm just going to go through briefly what is in your packet. You'll receive a packet, whether or not it is located at the company or in your classroom, depends on your coordinator. You need to contact your coordinator and ask, how do I get my packet? Do I need to come by, pick it up, or will it be in the classroom when I start to teach? But this is what your packet's going to look like. It's going to be a full, an envelope. This will probably be inside of it, but just for our purposes today, it will have the course number, the company name, the date, the contract number, the time, the room number, and your name on this particular packet folder. So on this envelope, you're going to have this information, and inside the envelope there are several things that you will need to fill out for your paperwork. On the first day of class, you want to be sure that everyone has a PIF. It's called a Participant Information Form. It's light green in color. We ask that students fill this out completely. One of the security issues that many students feel uncomfortable about is giving their full Social Security number. If you would ask them to do the last 4 digits so we could at least have some number associated to them. If they refuse to do that, I understand, but please ask them to fill this out completely. You're going to collect these participant information forms and stick back into the envelope. That's important for you to do. If you're teaching a computer class, we will ask the student to fill out an acceptable internet computer use agreement form. It looks something like this. The students will sign off at the bottom and date this. It just says they're not going to get into chat rooms or download any software or any programs to our computers. So ask them to read and fill this out if you're teaching in a computer classroom or if they'll be using a computer at any point in time during your class. So the PIF, the acceptable computer internet use agreement form. Then there will also be a syllabus. The syllabus should have the course description, the course objectives, and how the class will be evaluated. This should be in your packet. There probably won't be enough for everyone in your class, but this will be important for you to go over because you'll be evaluated on whether or not you covered the objectives for the class. If the class is located at Moore Norman Technology Center, you will have a first class responsibility. If your class is located at an industry site, this will not be in the packet. So if it's here at Moore Norman, it is important that you read this. This is for safety and security reasons here at our campus. So you want to go through and read this. I'm going to briefly go through it. Fire evacuation routes and tornado safety areas are located near each classroom. In my classroom, it's over on the wall by the door. Refer to that picture. Show them the path they would take if the fire alarm sounds, which is a loud blaring sound. The blue boxes are the tornado shelters. Tell them where they would go in case of a tornado. It would be announced on the loudspeaker, or at South Penn, a bullhorn. Someone will come by and say, this is a tornado warning. Inform the students of where the break areas are, the telephone, the smoking areas. Tell them all those places and locations in the building where you're going to be teaching. At the South Penn campus, smoking sections are at the either end of the building in a little pavilion area. It has wooden seats and it's a little wooden structure. Here at the Franklin Road campus, there are 2 smoking areas. One of them is at the C break area. You would step outside the door and you will see a little pavilion there. And at the A entrance, down just a ways from the A entrance, there is a smoking area there. It has the wooden pavilion as well. Remind the students that the supervisor on duty can be contacted if they contact a customer service rep or find one. They will be contacted by a radio at nights and on the weekends. In case of inclement weather, their best source of information is the Moore Norman Technology Center website. Another place that they can go for information is to call 364-5763, and there ought to be a message recording there that will tell them about the classes. Evening classes are either canceled or a go, and that decision is made between 3 and 4 in the afternoon. So just because classes are closed in the morning here at Moore Norman doesn't mean that our evening classes are closed. Sometimes we still continue to have classes. Many times we try to contact the TV and radio stations to let them know whether or not we're having classes, but sometimes their information is not accurate. Computer labs or health classrooms, there's no food or drinks allowed at any time. We ask that students not bring their pets or children to school. No weapons, firearms, or other destructive devices are allowed on school premises. We've already discussed the smoking areas. For security reasons, students are not to stay in their vehicles during lunch or break times. Certificates are not automatically issued at the last class meeting. Your coordinator determines whether or not you will get a certificate for the class that you've attended. We do not accept responsibility for the work of the adjunct outside of the classroom assignment, and we are not responsible for personal items left unattended in the classroom during break or at lunchtime. So that's important to tell the students. Cheating and plagiarism are not tolerated. Students found doing so are subject to disciplinary action as deemed appropriate by our faculty or administration. At the bottom of this first class responsibility, there is a place to sign your name and to date it, and this is only for classes that are offered here at Moore Norman Technology Center campus. If you're doing a one-day workshop, you're going to give the evaluation at the end of the class. If you're teaching a series of classes, let's say it's a management training, it lasts for 12 weeks, the last class meeting, you're going to give out the evaluations, which should be in your envelope, in your packet. So you're going to pull out the eval. The evaluations look something like this. It will say good, great, or poor. If you'll contact your coordinator or me at 217-8230, I'll be glad to give you one of these packets. We're going to try to get this out to anyone that's doing this online so that they'll have access to the paperwork and they'll be able to see it. This is really great for you to read. This is how you will be evaluated. It's very important that you go over the objectives at the beginning of the class and also at the end of the class, because you'll be evaluated on did you cover the objectives. So that's important, and you're going to pass these out. You're going to allow the students to fill them out. You're going to ask for a volunteer, or you can assign someone to collect the evals. This is what the proctor sheet looks like. At the very bottom of the proctor sheet, you're going to ask the person that's going to be collecting those to sign off on it and to date it. So this is the evals, the proctor sheet. The proctor will collect the evaluations. They will put it back into the folder. You can contact your coordinator to have access to look at those evals, but we ask that you do not view them. The very last day of class, you are to write down, did you fill out the PIF forms? Did you have the students do that? We need the beginning date and the ending date on this sheet, the instructor guideline checklist. Here is the beginning time and the ending time. Please put those down. That's very important, and it must match your timesheet on industry classes. At the bottom, distribute a copy of the class syllabus. Did you use name tags? Did you distribute the acceptable internet use agreement form? Here, did you sign the class roster or the PIF forms? You have PIF forms, so did the students fill those out? So anything that you did, check that off, and then sign at the bottom and put the date, and this will go back into the packet that you will submit to your coordinator. We ask that you submit it to your coordinator within 3 days. So within 3 days of teaching the class, try to get the packet back to your coordinator. If you're teaching at a campus, you can always leave this with a customer service rep, and they can get it via inter-office mail to your coordinator. If you have any questions, you can contact me or you can contact your coordinator. Thank you for going through the class packet for the business development team. This is part 3B of the classroom procedures, part 3. Thank you.